Hey friends, Andy Trop here from Take Permission Media Network. Wanted to share a couple thoughts with you about one of the scariest moments I've ever had as a parent, and it happened yesterday. Um, Yesterday we were at a community pool here in Sioux Falls, and my 4-year-old son was standing by the edge of the pool. It's a kiddie pool, so it's probably just a couple feet deep, but some kid bumped into him, knocked him over. We don't know what happened, but he fell in the water, and he has taken swimming lessons this summer, but he cannot swim. And my wife saw it, saw him in the pool, sort of flailing around, and she jumped in the pool and got him out. And he was very, 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 very scared and very shaken, as was my wife, as were all the family members that were around. And it was just a very scary moment for us as a family. And I think it would be a real waste if I didn't share some thoughts that came to my mind as I've had 24 hours or so to kind of reflect on what happened. And the first is that life is fragile, and yeah, I know the cliche bell kind of goes off when you hear that life is fragile. And I don't know what it is about our human condition that we think it happens to someone else, but someday that someone else is you. And we obviously didn't lose our son, but I've known people that have lost um, their children, and whether it's through a miscarriage or I've had friends whose kids have been killed in very tragic accidents. Um, Whatever it is, it's it's a reminder that life is fragile, and my hope is that you'll remember that without the trauma, that you'll remember that and make changes. Let me give you a couple lessons that I took from it. Which is, one is to be the best. I want you to be the best parent that you know, and that might sound sort of strange, but um, and this may sound really obnoxious, but I have a lot of people tell me I'm a great dad, and the truth is I am a good dad. I don't know if I'm a great dad, but I'm a good dad because of a few things. One is that my dad was a good dad, and I know a lot of other dads who are great dads, and I try to model my life after them. The other is that I'm not always a great dad. I am very impatient with my kids and my wife at times, and I save it just for them. I don't do that with customers or in public. It seems that I have saved my impatience for my family, which, if you're going to save something for your family, impatience is not something worth saving. So I'm not always a great dad, but I know other people in my life that have taught me to be a great dad. And I want to encourage you, whether you're a mom or a dad, to be the best mom or dad that you know. And don't just believe that's for someone else that has more time or whatever. That God has given you your children specifically to be the best parent they've ever known. And it doesn't take a lot of money or any extra money to be a great parent. Your kids don't want your stuff. Your kids want you. My kids' most common request is to spend time with them. Sit next to me, play with me. And I know that might change when your kids are in their teen years, but they're not verbalizing, but they need it more than ever for you to be with them. When my parents call, I'm 34 years old. I don't, and that doesn't upset me. I love it when they call. So be the best parent you know. Um, the worst thing that happened yesterday was that my son got very scared. But he's going to be fine, and he's going to be fine because he lives in a world of encouragement and empowerment and affirmation. I tell him at least once a week or ask him the question, Samuel, what are you going to change? And he says, I'm going to change the world. And Andy Andrews, you can find at andyandrews.com, is a great motivator to me, a great example to me of how to be a parent. And so empower your kids and tell them they're going to be these things and they will become them. So what can you do differently? Um, I don't want you to be a parent that can't say no to your kids, but I do believe that it's very uncommon for you to get applause for being a great parent. You're much more likely to get applause at work or to feel like you're doing more as a dad by making more money and bringing more money home. There's an article in our paper today about moms who try to have it all, who try to have a full-time job and be a full-time mom. And I think something's going to suffer in that equation. and I don't ever want to take a chance that my kids are going to suffer in that equation. So I'm not saying moms can't work. What I am saying is that you should try to be the best parent you can be. And for us, that's me at work and my wife at home. Um, Again, I don't want you to be a parent that can't say no to your kids, but I think that we should love our kids more. And I'm not questioning your love for your children. I'm not questioning my love for my children. I'm just saying I don't think that we can spend too much time with them. Now, yes, you can coddle your kids and you can spoil them. That's not what I'm talking about. But you can't play with them too much, right? I can't wrestle with my son too much, right? He's never going to be like, all right, Dad, that's enough. No more wrestling, you know. You can't read too many stories to your kids. You can't take your daughter on too many daddy-daughter dates. You can't have too many intentional conversations with your kids. You can't. And so that's what I'm saying when I say that I think you should love your kids more. You should affirm them more, empower them more, pour into them more. Um, I have people that listen like this, whoever you are. I have people that listen to me, ask me for advice, encouragement, whatever. But none of them, add them all up, and none of them are equal to one of my kids, because they win. They win when there's a conflict. And so work is important, but family is more important. And I'm not saying you should be on call and leave work during the day all the time to go take care of something at home. What I am saying is that your family should get your most and best emotional energy. So I hope that doesn't sound like I'm scolding you. I want it to be an encouragement to you. I want it to be an encouragement to me. But I know this is hard work. Parenting's hard work, but it's good work. And God has given you those kids to love well. And if you haven't done that and your kids are 40 or 30 or whatever, then start today. But life is fragile, and I appreciate that reminder. And I hope that you don't have to have the scary moment we had yesterday to remember that for you and for your family. Would love your thoughts on this, and thanks for your time. Thanks for listening.